Welcome back to Face to Face. I'm here with the beautiful and wildly talented Daizha. I am so excited for our facial today.
Me too.
We are gonna get your skin glowing. You already have such beautiful skin, so this is gonna be such a fun time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So I've given your whole Spotify a good thorough lesson before your visit, and the only thing I have to say is I'm frustrated I did not know about your page sooner, because you have been on repeat, and for any of my clients watching, you need to go give a listen, because this is the exact vibe we're already listening to in the spa. So
thank you so much. I'm so excited. I know I was like, how did no one think of this before? I think what you're doing is like genius. The podcast and relaxation facial all at once. I think that's amazing.
thanks. When you have a podcast too, can you tell me a little bit about your podcast?
So the podcast is called Touch of Messy.
Okay.
So completely opposite of your relaxation vibe. It's very much like, it's with my friend Abdul, and we were like, we want to talk about like messy things, but just a little bit, not too much, right?
Okay.
So like dating and like social life and work, just being a young professional in Seattle, and just like all of the messy experiences that can come with it.
I feel like we need to do a podcast trade, because there's plenty of mess.
I would love that.
Speaking of dating, I feel like your music has a very clear premise.
Mm-hmm.
Are you comfortable talking a little bit about kind of your songwriting process?
Yeah, so, yeah, I always say that I understand Taylor Swift's struggle, because, like, I feel like the easiest thing for me to write about is, like, dating and love and romance and all that. But, yeah, my songs are really about love, like, the good, the bad, the sexy, and usually if I'm going through something, I'll write, but also, like, I realize I have to be careful, because I'll manifest heartbreak with my songs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I wrote about this, like, last year, and now it's coming true.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you have the tendency for self-sabotage?
Yeah. Yeah, I
have that gene, too.
I'm like, why am I writing about heartbreak and then it's happening after the fact? Oh my gosh, that felt so good.
Also, I feel like at some point, maybe when we're done with this facial, I have this vision in my head, and I feel like you might just be down. I feel like you're chill, so I'm just gonna bring it up anyways, and you can say yes or no.
Okay.
But
I'm nervous.
like I said, I've been listening to your songs. My vocals are nowhere near Daizha's vocals. They're not even on the same planet, which is fine. We all have our strengths. That's just not one of mine, clearly. But you know how in your song Silk Sheets, and you have your little like double run where it's like do 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 do. I feel like I'm not even gonna imitate it, like, actually, because it's gonna be too cringe. Like, that was already cringe enough, but I needed to like loop you in on what I'm referring to.
I don't know if I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I'm trying to go back to it. I'm like playing this song in my head.
I feel like what I really want to do is have you do it, and then I can lip sync it and have my moment of like, wow, I'm really a singer for a second.
Okay. What if you tell me the lyrics? Or if you tell me which part? Let's see, which part? Just any part?
No, it's literally like...
Is it in the end? Is it in the beginning?
Girl, I don't even know at this point. I'm telling you, okay, I've been experimenting with this feature on Spotify where you can do the overlap part. Like, you can, like, your fade in, fade out. Mm-hmm. And I have it turned up really high because some of the music here, like, in the spa, it's very... I don't know, they have like a really long outro or really long intro where it's just like, it's dead silent, this is awkward. But I haven't turned it off, so when I'm listening to other music, like, the blend is really high. So if there's something on repeat, like, it could sound like the same song, and you're like, wow, it's been 12 minutes. This is a long song. Wow, it's been on loop, and I had no idea. And I feel like that's how my listening experience has been with your music this week, has been blended loop.
With singing, it's so interesting because I kind of was taught that, like, everyone can sing. It's all about, like, impersonation. So, like, if you just impersonate someone, like, when you're mocking them or whatever, you can, like, teach yourself how to sing.
I agree with that.
Yeah. But, I'm happy to be your voiceover.
I mean, hey, maybe I can just imitate you, and you can be like, we just need to tweak this, and you can actually do it. That would be even better. That's something to write home about. I learned how to sing with Daizha on the podcast.
Learning to sing with Daizha.
Episode 1. Do you ever do the, like, YouTube vocal warm-ups where they have you do all of the funny exercises?
Yes, I do. Especially, like, before a show day, or before a show, I'll do it. Or, like, if I have a show coming up, I'll run on the treadmill and I'll do them. I think they're really helpful. I've done it ever since I was younger.
Do you have a favorite vocal warm-up?
Probably, like, they do the scale, and you have to go, like, it's like a breath control for the scale. Breath control warm-ups are, like, my favorite, because that's, like, everything is, when you're singing, I feel like it's all breath control.
Absolutely.
For everyone, you know.
I feel like some of those are easier to do alone versus with someone, because there are some times where they're like, do the lip rolls on the scale, and you're looking at the person, I'm like, I can't.
Did you ever do, like, choir or anything?
When I was really little, I did choir, and then when I was, I think, like, middle school-ish age, I did piano lessons.
Oh, wow.
And then I did guitar lessons, I think, like, I was 12 through high school. So I feel like I have a musical house. I have lots of instruments.
Which one did you find was easier, guitar or piano?
Guitar, for sure.
That's what I said. That's what I play guitar, so I always tell people, I'm like, I felt like guitar was super easy.
I feel like, too, it's just, if you're reading sheet music, guitar is way easier, too, because it's like, oh, you could have a chord sheet, you could have tab sheet, you could have whatever, or kind of fiddle around and figure it out. Whereas with piano, I'm like, this could be intense really quick. We're watching Bridgerton right now.
Oh my god, are you already watching the new season?
No, not yet. We've started from the beginning, and I think we just finished season 1. So we're catching up, but Homegirl really knows how to get down with the piano, and I'm like, it really makes me want to...
Oh, you're making me want to rewatch the beginning yourself.
Yeah, I'm just like, wow, if she can do this, I think I can do this. I'm curious if she is a piano stunt double. I don't think she's actually doing this.
Probably. Oh my goodness, you can't be beautiful and... I'm just kidding.
But also, like, what a flex. I'm like, if it is her, power to ya.
Oh my gosh, what is that?
This is our massage medium.
Oh, why does that smell so good? I want dessert.
I think this one's everyone's favorite. They're like, it smells like a cookie. It smells like something delicious. So with your Spotify, I can't help but notice we don't have an album.
I know.
Can you tell me a little bit more about this? I hate to be that person that's like, when are we getting an album? But also, when are we?
I know. So I am working on an EP right now, like a smaller version of an album. But honestly, I just have such a hard time finishing enough songs to put out all at once. I just get so excited and I just kind of release them. Also, like, since I'm like a newer artist, I do feel like people's attention spans nowadays, I don't really feel like they listen to full albums unless you already have
like a following,
yeah,
waiting.
Exactly. And I have such an attachment to my songs that I want them each to get the same amount of attention, if not more. Like,
That makes sense.
Yeah, so that's why I release singles. And even when I release my EP, which will probably be summertime, I think that I want to release, like, single after single and then pull them together into an EP.
That's honestly my favorite rollout method that I've seen lately.
Yeah, I think that's how it should be done. Oh my goodness, that's my favorite. This is my favorite method right here.
Because even Bruno Mars did that when they did their, gosh, what was that album called? Like their last big rollout that had Silk Sonic.
Yeah, Silk Sonic.
Yeah, that's what they did. They just kept like dropping singles, and I'm like, okay. How could it get better?
You really know music. You know, I feel like you know so much about music.
I try. So, for those of us who've not been to a Daizha show, can you give us a little sneak peek on kind of what that curated vibe is?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I was actually just watching videos of one of my last shows, and I just really love bringing a bunch of women together and like being able to talk through our experiences. You know, I like to tell them like what my songs are about, because during my shows I sing more songs than I have released. So there's a bunch of unreleased music at them, and I just love hearing from the crowd like women who have related to the certain situations. I love seeing everyone like kind of come together and make friends in the crowd. I love telling my short queens to come to the front because I've been there. So I think it's just all about sisterhood and friendship, and also just like doing better than you did before. So it's okay to be sad, it's okay to write sad songs, but don't stay there.
Yeah. Do you feel like when you are writing music and then performing, sometimes it transports you back to that moment in time?
Only when my exes are in the crowd.
Has that happened often?
Yeah. It's part of the territory.
I don't know what I would do if I saw an ex, even like out and about. I'm Captain Cancel.
Really?
Like 100% cut off. There's no way anybody's running into an ex of mine anywhere. Like,
wait, what happened to the ex?
Well,
no one's running to my ex anywhere.
No, like it's not like they're gone, like dead. They're just like not in my circle ever again.
Yeah.
And I just feel like I'm one of those that's like, wait, you're friends with your ex still?
Yeah.
Like, I've never understood that because that hasn't been my experience. So, like, imagine you're performing, like, you're working. You're just like, ooh.
Well, I feel like the thing...
They just can't get enough of you.
I mean, I've never been like I can't be friends with my ex. But what I mean is like, I guess I'm just recently learning the block button.
Oh, okay.
Recently. So hopefully my cutoff game gets as strong as yours. But
do you remember when it was trending on TikTok? Are you on TikTok?
Yes.
Okay, so you remember when it was trending and people were like, oh, this person's gone to the graveyard in my comment section, or my contact list, or whatever. Like, I guess women were, I don't know if they were, like, boyfriends or, like, situationships or whatever, but basically, like, they just did them wrong too many times, and so they deleted their name and just added a gravestone. And so that if they did reach out, they're like, oh, it's somebody from the graveyard coming back. Like, if you would like to redeem yourself, here's what you have to do.
Send me $1,000.
Right. And I'm just like, I could never.
Yeah.
You mean you kept their number? Cannot.
Yeah, honestly, I used to save, like, exes or, like, people from my past that have done me wrong. I used to save their name in my phone as something, like, absurd. Like,
a-hole or whatever.
Mhm.
And then one day I had to go and, like, import my contacts at this work thing that I was doing. Like, we were trying to, like, get all of my contacts so I can, like, reach out to each person and, like, you know, email them,
Yeah.
send them a text, whatever. And it was so embarrassing, my broker seeing all of, like, these crazy names that I had in my phone. So I had to change that.
Of course, if they're all a-hole, they're right at the top of the list,
Right.
too.
I'm like, oh my goodness. And then one time, I was in the car with this guy, and, like, my phone, like, started ringing, and it was like, you deserve better. And, like, that's my friend, and he will never let me live it down. He called me immediately. He's like, what am I saved as?
Oh my gosh. What do you think you're saved as?
The one that got away. Always.
Always.
I should have did better. She deserves better. Can't afford her. Something like that.
That's the best one. Oh my gosh. Do you feel like the dating scene is difficult when you are putting so much into your music?
The dating scene is difficult.
I mean, the
in
dating-
Seattle in general.
Yes.
Like, I
It's
don't.
a hot mess.
Yeah, I'm not a huge dater. I'm not on any of the apps.
You're not missing anything.
Nothing in my heart makes me feel like I am either. Like, maybe when I was younger, like, honestly, like, a few years ago, I was like, I want to be in a relationship. I want to be with one person and all that. And, like, I love myself so much now that I can't even imagine who I should be with or who deserves to be with me. And that might sound, like, full of myself, but, like, I don't mean it in that way. I think every woman should get to that point. And I just feel like I miss the days when men were hunters and they would come and they would find you.
Where have they gone?
I don't know. I'm like, but, like, I love seeing couples that are happy and, like,
Yeah.
you know, and I want that. I just don't believe in, like, forcing it anymore, or, like, if I do this, then maybe I just don't believe in that anymore.
No.
I'm okay alone, and if someone thinks that, you know, they can see a future with me, they'll make it known.
We need the actual pursuit to happen.
Yeah.
Some wooing.
Some zhuzh.
Yes.
Some, I don't know, like.
A formal courtship.
Yeah, like.
We need flowers and the works.
Sell a goat for me.
Please.
Something. Okay? Don't swipe up in my DMs.
Do you want to go to In-N-Out?
Yeah, actually. In-N-Out. Hold up.
Take that as you will.
Yeah, I want the real thing. I want that
Yes.
old school kind of love.
Wherever it may be.
It's not in my DMs, I promise you.
What's the best, like, I guess, has this ever happened? Or do you have an idea of what it would look like the best way for somebody to approach you?
Yes. I like when people, like, come up to you in person. Like, if a guy saw me and he, like, came up and was like, you're beautiful or whatever, like, I think that is so sweet. I think people are so afraid because they do a lot of their flirting on the internet.
Yeah.
I just have this, since I travel a lot for, like, work and whatnot, I think that I just imagine myself being at a bar or somewhere that, you know, my situation, like my job or whatever, has brought me, and then all of a sudden there's someone who's also like-minded in the same spot, and, like, oh my goodness, this feels so good. Someone also is there and they're like, hey, like, I feel like when the guys always say, when we know, we know.
I know they say that, but...
Well, I need them to know quick.
In an instant.
Yeah. I don't want you to know after In-N-Out. Like,
no.
So, in person for sure.
Yeah. Speaking of in person, do you feel like there's a cringiest way you could be approached in person?
In person?
Yeah. Like a please don't do this. This is going in the girls group chat if you do this.
Oh my gosh.
In the worst way.
having your friend do it.
Oh.
Maybe something like that. Like, yo, my boy thinks you're really cute.
That's ew. Not a fan of that.
Yeah, luckily it's been a while since something like that has happened. I'm waiting to write a love song. Most of them have been like on the slower side. I want someone that's gonna make me write something funky, something poppy.
We're here for it.
I know, we need some summer jams.
Yes.
But I'm also getting that from like, I do have a lot of really great girlfriends in my life, and I am in the works of writing some girl bangers, just about like relationships with my girls and my sisters and things
We need
like
that.
Yeah.
How do you feel like you have curated your girl group?
I had a really good foundation. I have some really great girlfriends that I've been friends with since I was like 16, 15, and they are, to me, like the blueprint to how like a good friendship should be. And I think I didn't have a really great or close like family dynamic growing up, and so my friends became my family very quickly, and so I really feel like God pulled them into my life, and they just have stayed, and they've been great, and they've been a part of every season. And I think that, I don't know, I think that helps me attract more like-minded people.
So I feel like we've talked a little bit about your relationships, both types of relationships. What has been the best tools that you've found for creating a good relationship with yourself?
I have been on this journey of a lot of self-reflection. And deep thought around just like choices I've made and how I can be better, and like a lot of things like that. And I had to get so much better at my self-talk. And what that looked like is just like kind of being sick and tired of being sick and tired, you know. I got tired of being like insecure about things. I got tired of, you know, like being invited to things and being like, oh, I don't really know if I want to go because what if, you know, people think I look like this or people think that. Like, I had to hit rock bottom when it came to that, and I had to completely reprogram my brain when it came to prioritizing how other people feel about me versus how I felt about myself. And it is a day and night difference. I used, like, for example, when I would go out with my friends and like maybe you see a group of girls and they like are staring, I used to be like, oh my gosh, they're judging me or something like that. I literally used to think that way. And now I remember like the realization I had when I was like, wait a second, now when I go out and like people like stare at me or like make a face, I'm like, oh, they must be admiring me. They must think I'm really pretty or something like like I've completely changed the way I think about how other people view me. I don't even think I really care as much. It's so, like, sometimes, you know, little things will seep through the surface, or seep through the cracks, I mean, but I think I just have really prioritized how I view myself, and it's changed my entire life.
Do you feel like in some ways we have to be a little bit delusional to make those changes of like, okay, fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you become it.
Yep, exactly. Do you feel like that was true in your experience?
Definitely, but I think more so for me too is that I learned to view myself in a way that's like, wow, no one is exactly like you. Like, no one's exactly like you, no one's exactly like me. Like, everyone is so different. And, you know, I learned to really praise myself for my unique traits. And so that is where, like, I think that confidence for me would come from. It's not necessarily like fake it till you make it. It's more of like I really found value in the things that I am that like make me me.
Yeah.
I wish that for everyone.
Me too, and it is not a overnight journey. I feel like it's definitely like you have to work on it every single day.
Absolutely.
And I don't know, I was bullied when I was younger, like really badly. And I had to switch schools, and it was not fun. But now I look back at that girl and I'm like, wow, look how far you've come. What the heck, girl?
You're doing it.
You're doing it.
We're going to start the dermaplaning on your skin. So you'll feel a little bit of friction. You can still talk as we're doing this. And then I'll just have you pause when we work around your mouth area.
I've never done this before.
I'm so excited for you to experience this. I think you're going to love it. It is another form of physical exfoliation. So it removes up to 4 weeks of dead skin cells, as well as any peach fuzz or vellus hair. So any of your products are going to penetrate better, more effectively. If you do wear makeup, everything's going to go on super silky smooth. We love that. Okay, I have a question. Older sister to older sister, what do you feel like your biggest mistake has been that could have been a lesson to your younger siblings? And then your biggest, I guess, motivator that you could have done or achieved at some point that could be a motivator for them looking up to you?
That's a great question. I think what I would want like my younger sisters to be able to do quicker than I did was not care so much about things that are temporary, and that includes people, and learning boundaries. Boundaries were not a thing in my household, and so I'm just realizing right now in life that not only was I bad at placing boundaries, but I also crossed other people's boundaries, you know, and I didn't like boundaries. And I had to learn that, and it is changing my life. So I would just want them to learn boundaries a little bit sooner than I did and see how much it can, like, make their lives a lot easier.
Yeah.
And also not put so much interest in men while you're trying to figure out where you're going in life.
Do you feel like you have any good tricks for setting boundaries or maintaining boundaries?
Yeah, you have to figure out what you stand for and what are your non-negotiables. And what's the word I'm looking for? Like your core values. You have to understand what your core values are and like don't change. Like what do you stand for? Like what are 3 words that represent who you are, and how do you show up as that every day?
Yeah. I feel like as women sometimes that can be so tricky because I feel like we're typically the first to sacrifice or the first to, I don't know, be a little more flexible in some of those things. And I feel like it is something that takes a lot of practice and desire to make it a part of your daily life. Because once you get the hang of it, man, you are unstoppable.
Right. I look back at all the things that have ever like really hurt me in my life, and I'm like, oh, it was lack of boundaries.
Like, how did we get here?
Lack of boundaries. This is crazy. This must be how the men felt when they would shave in the back in the day. You know what I mean? I've never shaved my mustache before.
Oh my gosh, today's the day. Have you look right over here.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah, disgusting.
In the best way. Yeah, we'll do some LED light therapy on your skin, and we'll pause the cameras for that so you can totally just chill and relax. And then when we're done with the LED, we'll do your face mask. And I really want to focus on some extra brightening. All right, Daizha, I'm going to start taking this LED off. I'm going to do a brightening blackberry mask on you today. So it's going to help even out tone and texture, give you a nice glow to the skin. So I know we talked earlier a little bit about how you think that if you can imitate somebody, it's a really good way of learning to sing. Can you tell me a little bit about your experience starting singing, coming into music? What did that experience look like for you?
Yeah, I actually really grew up singing in church originally, and then Cheetah Girls.
You know, I was gonna ask you about the Cheetah Girls while you were here.
Yeah, what were you gonna ask me?
I was gonna say, with your latest song, it kind of was a little reminiscent of that to me. And I was curious if you like grew up with the Cheetah Girls or not. And I was gonna be like, okay, I hope this isn't offensive or not. Like, okay, is this like a cringe thing to say? Like,
no.
But I freaking love the Cheetah Girls.
Me too. And my last song was I wanted to make something similar to the music I grew up listening to, and like in my room, 2000s vibe.
Yes.
And that's what I did. So I'm glad that's not offensive at all.
Yeah, that's exactly the vibe I caught.
And yeah, so growing up in church singing, and then like around the house, my mom would we would do like talent shows and stuff, and my mom would be like, kids put a performance on. Ooh, little tickle. So that's pretty much where, I would say church is where it started for me. And my mom used to say that I got it from her, but she cannot sing a lick. It's actually insane.
It skipped a generation.
It totally did.
Do you feel like there's anyone that comes to mind that you listened to a lot growing up that has given you influence in your sound now? Aside from the Cheetah Girls.
I was an R&B girl, so I loved all R&B. Oh my gosh, that was so good. I honestly really loved Beyonce growing up. I know that's like a cliche answer, but I really did love and appreciate her work ethic. I really liked Danity, the girl groups, Danity Kane. I liked Dondria and Tanisha Kelly, and a lot of the just very R&B girlies. But then I also grew up listening to oldies.
Yeah.
My grandmother always had Tina Turner on, and my mom would make us watch movies like The Five Heartbeats and stuff. I just had a very musical upbringing.
Yeah. I feel like that is the best way to do it.
Yeah, I loved it. My sisters were into sports and I was into music.
Looking back, can you imagine your childhood without music?
No.
I feel like it would be such...
It'd be so different.
Where am I?
I'm so lucky. My mom would make me go for every solo.
I mean, if you got it, you got it.
She'd be like, you better audition.
Do you feel like have you seen the latest documentaries, like Beyonce's documentary that was in the theater, and then Amy Winehouse just had a biopic? Have you seen either of those, and what were your thoughts?
I saw Beyonce's, and I always, whenever I watch hers, I get FOMO. I'm like, I need to put in more work, because she just has she's just all about her music. I haven't seen Amy's new one. I saw her old one from a long time ago.
I really liked the old one.
Right.
The new one, I was a little bit conflicted about if I was going to like it or not. But the gal who portrayed her did a really, really good job. I feel like she was getting a lot of heat early on, and I was 100% backing it. I'm like, how can you how can you do Amy Winehouse justice? But I think it was pretty well done.
To watch it.
With that being said, is there any biopics or documentaries of artists you grew up with that you would like to see come out?
Yeah, I want to know what happened to Asia Cruz.
Mm.
I don't know if you know who she is, but she had she had 2 songs, but she had this song called Selfish, and she just disappeared from the planet Earth. Like, no one can find her.
What?
I think I found her Instagram. I was doing some deep diving. I found her Instagram recently. It's private. She has a kid. She has a different last name, but she was that girl, and she disappeared. I want to know what happened to her.
I need to know too.
I also want to know who else. I would love to see one done on Danity Kane, a deeper dive. What happened with them and P. Diddy and stuff, what really happened. Maybe even one on Cassie.
Ooh. I feel like only time will tell now that more drama is coming out. I think people are more likely to feel open to tell their side of the story.
And I also want to see one with Justin Bieber.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to that man?
Well, now he's got a baby on the way, and he seems like a brand new person.
Yeah, but there's
a lot that's gone on.
There's so much stuff that's happened, and I just love conspiracies.
Me too. I'm just here for the tea.
I'm here for the tea. And Justin Bieber, you can't tell me something didn't happen to that guy.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first concert.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What era of Justin Bieber was the concert you went to?
He was a kid.
Okay.
One last lonely girl.
Where they still brought the girl on stage?
I don't remember that part.
Okay.
I was so young, but I had the big old Justin Bieber poster on my wall.
Oh my gosh.
I was a huge fan. Because that was when people were really starting to blow up from YouTube, and it was cool seeing him from his beginning phase to being Bieber.
It just doesn't happen like that anymore.
It really doesn't. Now TikTok, it's overnight.
Yeah.
See, but the problem is that's why there's so many one-hit wonders, is because people will blow up on TikTok from one video, but then they have no work ethic.
Yeah. Well, and you gotta think too, what kind of infrastructure do you need already in place for when you do blow up off of something on TikTok? What would you already need to have in place for it to have longevity and success? I think a lot of people underestimate how much time it takes on the back end to even just write and produce music, let alone put it out. And then, you get some attention and you're booking festivals and stuff, and it's well, what happens from there?
Right. 100%. You're right about this being cold. It's kind of refreshing.
It's good.
Especially with the heater
combo. I know, the heater is cranked up.
Wow, how do you wipe it off now?
So these are just cool sponges. So I'm just going to soften it and wipe it off. Is there any celebrity you would like to meet that's on your list of okay, I'd love to even just hang, this is the celebrity I'd want to get a coffee with, and this is the celebrity I'd like to write with?
Tim's.
All the way?
Yeah, I think it's really cool that she basically was working a normal. I love seeing celebrities that are my age and they're working a normal job, and then they bet on themselves and just make it. I love her style of music, her unique voice, and yeah, I just love seeing everything that's happening for her.
I'm so excited for her to come to Seattle.
I know, I really want to open for her. Looks at the camera.
So Thames, if you're listening, check your email.
Yeah. I'm super excited to see her live.
What's been your favorite Seattle venue to see a show at?
Numos.
Yeah?
I like Numos, yeah. It's like really, I like how big it is.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to so many like Barbosas.
Mm-hmm.
And it's cute and intimate. But yeah, Numos, I feel like there's just so much that people can do with the stage. Which I love.
Definitely. They have a good stage there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a ideal venue you would like to perform at?
I would love to perform at Numos.
Yeah.
Or Showbox.
Showbox is kind of the it Seattle venue.
I know, that's where Thames is coming. What's the last show you've been to?
Don't even know.
Even Friends show?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, this has to be somebody I do know. I went to somebody's show. I don't even remember. Yeah. I'm like, we were just at KEXP the other day. They did a artist panel, which was really cool, which wasn't like a performance. But they had a really good lineup for their panel. They had like their first half all about finances as an artist. So they had like bookkeepers and lawyers. This was a couple days ago. Friday? I think it was Friday. And that was really cool. And then Tessa Talks, she was on the second half of the panel, and I just love her. She is like the sweetest.
She's so talented.
So I feel like trying to be a part of that kind of scene, whether it's a show or just, you know, supporting other people, artists in the city. I feel like that's always a good opportunity to network and hang out with other local artists.
That smells nice.
Good. This is an oxygenating serum and some hyaluronic acid, so really hydrating. That's really bugging me that I cannot think of what the last show I went to was.
How about the last movie?
The last movie I saw, I think it was the Amy Winehouse biopic. I think that was the last movie I saw. I have the AMC Stubbs membership. My boyfriend and I got this membership maybe a couple months ago, and we're like, okay, we're gonna just be movie people this year.
Love.
And it's kind of fun. We've seen some really good ones, and we've seen some, like, we definitely didn't watch the trailer beforehand and got a little more than we anticipated on some other ones. Regardless, it's, you know, fun. You never know what you're gonna get. I'm gonna be a self-proclaimed movie critic by the end of the year.
I just saw the Planet of the Apes.
I haven't seen that. How did you like it?
It was super good. I love ape movies.
Really?
Yeah. And then I saw the new Mad Max thing.
I heard that was really good. I haven't seen that yet. I feel like they were pushing that movie trailer so hard.
And I just saw, maybe I'm making a membership like you, and I just saw the Challengers or whatever.
I did see that. I felt conflicted about that movie. I'm not even gonna lie.
I'm not gonna lie, I left a little early.
We thought about it. We're like, should we just call it? Whatever their theme song thing that just kept like popping up throughout the movie was, I just couldn't. I couldn't deal with that.
Oh, I don't remember.
It's like some weird, like, I don't know, theme song or something that just kept like popping on and off throughout the movie. I'm like, this is not for me.
Yeah, I was at Cinnabar. So I was a little tipsy. I was just like, okay, this is, my attention span cannot watch this movie right now.
We're over it. How's your skin feeling?
So soft.
Good. We're going to do a little bit of eye product and some lip balm, and then we will be all done, and I will have you take a peek in the mirror and you can check it out.
Awesome.
All right, you ready to take a peek in the mirror?
Mm-hmm.
See how things are looking?
Ooh, like a glazed donut. Thank you.
You're
so
welcome.
Much. Wow. I feel like a new woman.
Got a brand new face.
And this lip gloss is amazing.
Doesn't it feel good too?
What is this?
It's the PCA Overnight Lip Mask.
Is it like something you can wear throughout the day?
Mm-hmm. You sure can.
Oh
but
my
it's like
God.
super, super hydrating.
What
but
the
it has
heck?
such good shine. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, I might have to get some of that.
I'm going to give you a few minutes to get comfy, get situated, and then we can reconvene on the chairs and chit-chat a little more, okay?
Awesome.
Well, we're back on the chairs.
Oh, I didn't even know that was
Time to follow up. So many things to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really curious to hear a little bit more on how you've developed your team and what kind of things you look for when seeking out new people to bring into your circle when it comes to not just like production, but also filming and editing, and like, I guess, what kind of characteristics or places are you seeking these people?
Yeah, right now I have a pretty close team of like who I usually work with like for production, and so shout out P Cruz, and who like my immediate team as far as like my manager and things like that, and like what's important to me with like working with people for such a sensitive thing, which music is such a sensitive craft. I really care about like it being with people that I trust and like people that make me feel safe, and in return I'm the same. But like when it comes to like videos and things like that, like I have folks that I have used before and they've moved different places, so I'm still like I'm actually looking currently for like a videographer and like someone that's reliable, that I can depend on, and like someone that is just as passionate about their craft and like taking it seriously and like as professional as I am, because I don't like to do anything halfway.
Right.
So that's like super important to me. I really like working with people that are like, they don't cut corners. So
Like, why would you want to work with somebody who's just like,
I know. I mean,
Have you experienced that before?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like you run into people a lot who maybe are good at things, but they don't take it super seriously, or they don't, make time for it, things like that. That's why I've yet to put, I mean, that's not the only reason why, but like I've yet to put out a like collab, because like a true collab, because I do have a hard time, like, I like to do things a certain way, get it done.
Yeah.
So.
When you talk about a collab, are you meaning like a feature on a song or something like that?
Yeah,
Okay.
I have no features currently. Like I've had people reach out, or I've like reached out to people to like, oh, let's write a song together, but it's like, it's so hard because one person might be inspired one day and one person's not inspired the next day, and like vice versa.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm learning. I'm hoping eventually I'll be able to get to that point with someone.
Sometimes it's nice to just have, I guess, communal spaces where it's like kind of just go and see and feel and just like see what comes out.
Yeah.
And if there's more of that more consistently, sometimes you get really lucky either meeting people or like creating something on the fly versus like a planned, we're gonna be creative today from 9 to 5.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And creativity doesn't always work that way, unfortunately.
Or if you like schedule something like, oh, let's meet up on this day and like we'll make some music, and it's like, and then that day comes, you're like, actually I'm not really feeling inspired.
Creatives, I feel like, are notoriously some of the flakiest people too. So like, just putting that out there of, sometimes it's like, well, 9 o'clock turns to 1 o'clock, turns to 2 o'clock, turns to maybe tomorrow.
Well, I'll have you know, I was on time today.
She was. I will say that. Starting this podcast, working with musicians, I I didn't really think about that aspect until
yeah.
I'm like, shoot, if I have somebody coming in right after I have this time scheduled, no matter how much extra time I allow myself, if there's any possible hiccup,
Yeah.
this could be a mess.
That is a thing. Yeah, I had my first taste of that, like, working with, like, bands and things like that. Like, I've worked with some really creative and talented band folks, but, like, they have their lives, right? So, like, it's, like, scheduling is, for musicians, I can always anticipate a musician is always going to be, like, 20 to 30 minutes late. So what I started doing is telling people that it's earlier than what it actually is.
Absolutely. I feel like, too, if you're surrounded by musicians, everybody, like, thinks it's normal, too.
I know.
So it's like, well, what time are we actually arriving? Is this a musician creative event where we're arriving an hour and a half late?
Yeah.
Or is this, like, we actually have to be on time?
We're creative, not punctual.
Yes, yes. We have our brain space allocated for other things. When it comes to putting out new music, you have a whole, I guess, like, schematic when you put music out of, like, who's listening where, like, men versus women, locations. Do you feel like that plays a big part in where you want to, like, pop up and do a show, or where you want to maybe collaborate with other artists?
Yes, actually, I want to see if it's changed at all, but
Okay.
I was just looking at
Metrics. That's the word.
The metrics, yeah. Let me see, because I was actually really surprised by where a majority of my listeners were from. So, 60% female,
Love that.
35% male, 3% non-binary, and 2% non-specified.
Okay.
And then 23 years old through 27 are like a majority of who listens to my music. There's 2% of 60 plus. I love that. But
This is their getting it on music. Can we just take a moment?
oh, the playlist that I'm on is actually crazy. I'll have to share that with you.
When I gave you a first listen, I'm like, ooh, these are like the jam.
I did not even realize that. Yeah, I make music for Planning Parenthood. So I don't really do that. Please don't. United States, United Kingdom, and South Africa are my top 3.
Love.
So like my top city is Johannesburg. I don't know how to say that.
That's where Tyla's from.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Yeah, I guess so. And she's in South Africa. Yeah, she's from South Africa. That is my top city. And out of all the countries, all the places, that is my top city.
What? That is so cool.
So
Followed by
followed by LA.
So
Basically I need to do a tour in South Africa.
yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
I need to make more music for South Africans. Thank you for your support. I love that. But like, girl, the playlist that I'm
Let me see.
Okay, so I just screenshotted a couple.
Do you do playlisting at all for your music?
No, these are just people's random playlists.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I have been on some playlists, but
Okay.
that's a weird one. I'll let your imagination. I'm like, who and like.
Not the emojis too.
I didn't even look at the picture. What is happening in this picture?
Let me see.
Oh, I think it's just a girl.
Oh.
Do you see what I'm saying? I was like, what is happening? Why am I on these playlists? So back to the drawing board on the beach.
Let your mind wander what I just saw, but it's exactly what you think.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, Johannesburg.
I'm getting a little freaky over there.
So I'm hoping the next few releases are gonna be a little bit more uplifting. I wanted my music to be, like, when I'm writing my music, I'm not like, oh, I'm gonna write like a bedroom bop. No, that is not my thought. I'm literally just writing and creating, and then next thing you know, you got a bedroom song on accident. But that's because I want it to be, I want people's imagination to run wild, and it does. It does.
Very wild indeed. With your sensual songs, do you feel like this is ever awkward when bringing in men in the band of like, we're gonna do this bedroom bop.
They love it. They're so good at it. They're so good at it because I don't think most people my mom didn't even realize. Like, my mom was like, I love your song Silk Sheets. It's so good. And then I started singing it again, like, in front of her. And then she's like, what did you say here? And I told her, and she's like, wait a second.
Pause.
Is this about, yeah. She's like, what's the song about? I'm like, gotta go. Like, but the guys in the band are so great. And most of them are, like, Christian. And, yeah, I don't think, maybe they didn't realize either. I don't know.
Do you feel like it's a, a pickup for them? Like, ooh.
I don't know.
You're playing this music.
I do think that women in the crowd have hit on the band members a lot, actually.
Ooh.
Or like, they'll come to me and they'll be like,
are they single?
So-and-so, and I'm like, they're married, stop, no.
Here is your option. These are the single pool.
Yeah, no. My band is off limits. They have their own priorities.
None of them can be heartbroken. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
My gosh. I'm gonna have some questions for Aiden after this interview.
Yeah. Literally, people in the crowd are like flirting with, like, shouting up to him. Like, oh my gosh, I don't know. I'm like,
no wonder he likes performing with you so much.
It's so funny. You just see him get more and more swag as the shows go on.
I really love this for him.
I know, me too. I love Aiden's house, by the way. I go to his house and he has,
it's a vibe for sure.
He's the reason why I got a Costco membership. I'm like, you get so much stuff from Costco.
I feel like Costco is such a grown thing to have. Like, okay, officially grown. I have the Costco card.
Mm-hmm. I wish they had more, like, vegan and vegetarian options, though.
Mm-hmm. Trader Joe's is the best.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't even believe it's a real store. I think
really.
I used to love Trader Joe's. I really did, but something about their food just is a little, I don't know. I'm on the conspiracy wagon. I love Trader Joe's, don't get me wrong. There's things that I bought. I still shop there every now and then, but, like, I don't think their produce is real. It's so weird.
What?
And, like, I don't know. And it's all, like, frozen foods. I don't know.
I think you need to do another trip to Trader Joe's.
I love Whole Foods.
I love Whole Foods, too.
And I also love Town and Country. It's just so expensive.
Mm-hmm. My new house, there's a Trader Joe's and a Whole Foods next to each other.
Mm.
And so I do both. I'll get, some stuff at Trader Joe's, and then I'll do the other stuff at Whole Foods. And if you have Amazon Prime, you get your little kickback at Whole Foods.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Scan your little QR.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Put me on.
Again, I feel like this is so grown. We're talking about our Whole Foods haul.
I get really, really excited about produce. I love fresh produce. I love seeing, like, a really pretty tomato.
A lot of fresh herbs.
Mm-hmm. I keep seeing, oh yeah, there's someone walking. I'm like, who is that?
Taking an afternoon stroll. Are you someone who likes to cook?
I do like to cook. Yeah, I don't like to cook for myself, though. Like, I will cook for myself, but I really like to cook for other people.
Me too.
Or, you know what I mean? Like, it feels weird making a meal just for myself, you know?
There's something nurturing about I'm taking care of somebody else and I'm making this meal to nourish everybody and this is going to be so good. Whereas if it's for myself, I'm going to grab a bar and a banana and call it a day.
Smoothie.
Yeah.
I know, but following, like, Nara Smith has made me, like, think that I can cook everything.
Uh-huh. Did you see she just made cough drops? Homemade cough drops.
I thought that was so cute.
I was like, I want to be a mom like Nara Smith.
But baby, where? Because her bounce back was crazy.
Uh-huh.
I was like,
she's also, like, 23 or something.
Really?
Yeah.
She's got, like, 4 kids.
Yeah. Which I'm like, okay.
Like, I'll pause for that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if my body's gonna do the
Yeah. I don't know how I know she's a model, but and I know she eats. So I'm like, how is she, I don't know.
She's got the genes.
She's got the genes.
Whatever she's got, I need. Maybe she ate her placenta. I think that's so gross, but I think
maybe a lot of women do that.
Yeah.
And I can see her doing that. She's, like, putting the placenta in her food that she makes her kids.
I'm not gonna name names, but I do have a client who told me that when I have kids, if I do not want my placenta, she would like my placenta.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I do not want your placenta. I don't want any. I don't even want my placenta.
I don't want anybody to have my placenta. She's like, yeah, you just freeze dry it and they put them in capsules.
Oh, hell no.
I'm like, if you want it that bad, it must be like really good.
Apparently
I better
it's good
eat
for
it.
you. Yeah, you should keep it.
I'm
Keep
keeping it.
Or save it and sell it.
I see some people plant them too. Like some cultures, like they plant their placenta and then they put something over top of it, like a tree or something.
Oh my gosh. Well, too bad the trees are like getting cut down left and right. I think we're all gonna live on a different planet soon. So if Mark Zuckerberg has anything to do with it,
Would you go to the moon or Mars or something?
I think I'd be out of this planet. No.
No?
No. Have you seen The 100? If you haven't, you should watch it. It's
I
really
feel
good.
like I have. That sounds like something my dad would watch.
It's so good. And it's about like, oh, man, I'm about to go back home and watch it. I envy those who get to watch it for the first time. It's so good. It's like about these people who live on a different planet, and then these kids who are like juveniles get sent to Earth to go check it out now.
Oh.
And it's like so good. I'm gonna go home and watch it.
I'm not gonna lie, this sounds like a spinoff for WALL-E.
What? I haven't seen WALL-E in so long. Your camera looks like WALL-E.
It does.
Yeah, but yeah, it's so good. It's not like a cartoon or anything. It's like real action.
Yeah.
Like it's so good.
It sounds like perfect for your conspiracy theory.
I think it's gonna happen. Believe me, you.
I better not be here when it happens.
I know.
That's my thought. I'm
That's
like,
why
I'm scared
I
good.
have kids.
I know.
I'm like, I don't want.
I'm like, is it selfish to have kids at this point?
Yeah, I don't
Feels
want
a little. Feels a little selfish. I still want to be selfish, but I want to find this part of your song so we can full circle my moment in the beginning.
Oh.
So you actually know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna find it. We'll cut it so you're not gonna like copyright claim me.
I would never.
Okay. Let me skip.
Talk about that.
I think it's this part. This part.
Mhm. That part?
Yes, both the double up. I'm like, okay, in the car, I'm like, okay, can I hit it? Nope. Not today. Not today. I'm like, I'm gonna ask you.
Shoot, I don't know if I'm gonna hit it today. Oh my gosh.
So what do you do to warm up to hit this little?
I go like this.
Ooh.
You see?
Okay.
I forget what that's called. Yeah, I just go. Okay. Like, get your voice like all the way down. Let's try it with me.
Okay.
You start really low. You're already high. Yeah. We kind of sound like whales, or like one of the.
Nobody's next door today. It's fine. We're calling to each other.
Yeah, they're like, wow, she's like having the most intense facial over there. So it's like, she. It's like, so she. Yeah, almost,
Okay,
almost.
okay.
She. Now two together. She. So that's half of it. He. You repeat it. So she. So it's I don't know, girl. I don't even.
I'm gonna be replaying this
Yeah.
and practicing in the car. This is gonna be my new learned skill today.
I don't even know how. I think here's the thing. Like, I remember when I wrote that part of the song. I wrote this song as a joke. First
Okay,
of all.
really? Okay.
I was just like, oh, I'm gonna write something sexy and fun because I was having like writer's block.
Yeah.
And then I wrote that, and originally the song was just like, in these silk sheets, but that wasn't enough, like, just saying it wasn't enough to take up space in the song.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll just extend it. She.
And that's my favorite part.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love that. Thank you.
Yeah, it's my favorite. And Matter Over Mind is my other favorite, actually.
That song is on a lot of playlists.
A
A lot of playlists
Wow,
I showed
wow.
you. Yeah. Like, it's like honeymoon. I'm like, okay, congratulations, but ew. No, not ew.
You're like, so how many am I getting named?
I know. I think I like don't want to know who these people are that have my music on their bedtime playlist, because I'm like, I wouldn't be able to look at you the same.
No. I have a hot take though. This goes back to like musicians going to other musician shows. This is my one like peeve about the Seattle area is there's so many venues in like Cap Hill area, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's like the least amount of parking in Cap Hill.
I know.
And it is so expensive to be paying for parking every single time you're going out, especially when you have friends in the industry and you're like, cool, there's like 2-3 shows this week
Yeah.
to commute and then park if you
Mhm.
don't like live.
Close.
Close.
Yeah. Which I don't.
I don't
Neither do
either.
you, yeah.
I feel like we need an artist parking pass.
I agree wholeheartedly. I think
Full
that's
Seattle
so
area. Like, okay, we are allowed to park anywhere. Maybe it's $20 a month. This is my pitch. And you can park anywhere.
I agree. I think so too. And it's so frustrating because, like, of course, maybe the show is affordable, but, like, Ubering down is not affordable. Or, like, yeah, like you said, the parking, it's so annoying. It's so annoying. That's, like, even me as an artist, like, some of the shows that I've, like, been booked for, I'm like, what the heck? You don't have a parking space for me?
Mhm.
And I'm, like, performing here?
And also, let's just... Sometimes these shows, you don't know how much you're getting from the show.
Right.
And the split with a band sometimes is crazy.
Oh, yeah.
The most frustrating thing is when everybody pays for parking and the split isn't even enough for what you paid for parking.
Right.
And it's just like, okay, this was a great experience, but
Pay Seattle artists what they deserve.
and give us a parking pass.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's especially having like a bigger band. Like, I love every part of my band, and I like wish we can even add more instruments. But yeah, it is. The splits are really crazy. Like, for a while, I don't think there's one show where I've profited.
Yeah.
And and even then, like, even rehearsals and stuff like that, like, the band's not getting paid enough to like accommodate their
Right.
So it is tricky, but luckily a lot of the artists that I work with, or like, band members or what have you, like, we are all doing it just because we genuinely love doing it and love performing, and that like feeling that you get from being on stage just makes it all so worth it.
Do you feel like there's any word of advice you would give for people to try and like stay passionate about their craft when it feels discouraging financially?
Yeah, I think it's gonna continue to feel discouraging if you are doing it for money.
Mm-hmm.
I know that like it is a very expensive hobby to have, or passion to have. But I think that the more you're doing it and the more you're practicing and getting in front of the right people, you're going to find people that want to work with you because they believe in you, and so that makes it a little bit less expensive. And then when you do see the fruits of that, you'll be able to also, in return, like, pay them as well. And there's like a lot of artist grants and things like that that can be helpful. Yeah, and I think just like what helps me not be as discouraged is like having a side hustle that you can, that can help you afford your dreams.
Do you feel like the side hustle balance can be challenging at times of like trying to sacrifice either time from your money-making side hustle at the moment to create space for band rehearsals or shows? Like, what does that balance look like?
You gotta want it bad enough.
Yeah.
There's 24 hours in a day. You sleep for 6 maybe, or 8 if you're lucky. What are you doing with the rest?
Mm-hmm.
I think it really matters how bad you want it. There are people making it happen.
When you eventually get your time in the sun,
Mhm.
your spotlight. It's coming quickly.
I hope so.
What are going to be the quiet signs that it's happened?
This is such a good question. I think I'll probably leave Seattle and go somewhere. I want to travel more and perform different places, different countries even. I think you will see higher quality content, and me on stage a lot more. I'm one of those artists that want to be on stage more.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to just put out music. I want to be performing. I want to be creating a community. So yeah.
Would we ever see a music-specific networking group from you?
Like for other artists to network?
Yeah.
I primarily really do focus on a lot of women. I don't think there's a lot of things that are for us. So right now, with my networking groups that are centered around women in business, I think that there could be something for women in music as well. But I want to make sure that I have resources for that.
Yeah.
Is all.
Where do you go about, I guess, looking for those resources? Is it people? Is it experience from yourself?
Yeah, it's me trying it and seeing that it was a good fit, and then offering that resource to other people if I can. I don't like to sign anyone up for anything that I wouldn't want to do.
Yeah.
You know, I would hate it. The music scene can be so sticky sometimes, and not everyone has your best intentions or has your best interests at heart. And so I'm very skeptical of certain people and places and things like that. So I want to make sure that I'm sending someone somewhere safe.
Yeah. Well, I feel like, especially if your name is on it, you want to make sure you're setting people up for success. Do you feel like there's one note of advice for anybody coming up in the music scene as a woman that you would give kind of on their come up of, I guess, a word of motivation or a word of advice?
Yeah, I would say probably trust your instinct. Nothing is free. And it's really important to never switch up on the people that are supporting you from the beginning.
I think that's really good advice. If anybody does want to work with you, network, collab in any way, how should they get in touch with you?
Instagram has my email link in the bio. And it's Daizha, DAIZHA.Richardson.
And then anywhere else people should go to find you, or everything's going to be on your Instagram?
Everything is on my Instagram. My website link is on my Instagram. But I'm on all streaming platforms.
And your single is out now. So go stream it, share it.
One last.
You won't regret it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Of course,
this has been a
thank you
lovely time. It's so good to have you on.
I'm so relaxed.
And I'm so excited to see what you put out next.
Thank you.